everybody, this is Peggy for Cropstock.com, and today I want to show you how you can make some awesome backgrounds using these little teeny weeny bottles of alcohol inks by Ranger. We are going to have so much fun doing it on paper, glass, acetate, metal. Well, you know what, let me quit talking about it and let's just show you. Okay, what we're going to use is our little applicator that we use when we do our sponges and we use our inks that way. When I use that a lot when I do my distress inks. This time I'm going to use it with just a plain old piece of felt. I cut it in squares. This one I cut a little bit too big, but it'll work. And I'm going to show you the proper way to put your alcohol inks on your little applicator here. Now what we're going to work on first is glossy paper. The alcohol inks are a really cool ink because you can use them on a lot of different surfaces. We're going to start with this is glossy paper, and then I'm going to show you glass and just some really fun things. Now, the one thing I learned right up is that you do not have to put the caps right back on these when you're using them, because there's a little applicator ball, I guess you would call it, up in here, so that it's going to keep air from getting back down inside to dry out your alcohol inks, which is really good because so many times I was in such a hurry to get the lid back on and then my ink would dry before I got the next one there. So I don't have to do that. Now when you're putting your ink on your little piece of felt, you don't want to go squirting it across the room. It will adhere to a lot of things you don't want it to, as well as what you want it to. So you want to put the little nib right into your felt like so. There's that color. And this one is called Citrus. It's one of the brights. This one is Wild Plum. And if you'll notice, I'm going to do the same thing, but I don't want those inks to touch on my little piece of felt, because you mix too many colors together, it turns into mud. And this one is your Stream. What's really cool, I don't know how many colors they have now. Probably, I don't know, 20 of each. There's a brights, there's, what are the lights, brights, and then the regulars. And there's probably like 20 colors of each one. Now, when you're applying this on your paper, you're just going to go randomly, no rhyme or reason, and just start going around. Look at that. Is that like too stinking cool? And you just start patting it everywhere. And you can turn your little applicator so the colors go different places. And I'm telling you, this makes the most awesome background for a card. It's even really neat when you do it for a mat, for a photograph. It's really cool because it just can pick any color that's in the photograph and match your mat to it. You can do a little, you can do a lot. It doesn't matter. Now the other thing you're going to need to get is the alcohol blending solution. It has a couple of different things it'll do. Blend, obviously, that's in there. It'll lighten, and it'll also remove the ink. So those are some things you can remember, that this is pretty like a multi-purpose kind of a deal. Now what I'm going to do first, let me first show you this, how cool this is. Isn't that a neat background, all those beautiful colors? What's really another way you can do this, cut it with your die cuts, make flowers, butterflies, and you get these multicolors. But this will make a really good background too. The same with your alcohol blending. You want to just dribble a little bit on there, like so. And then I'm just going to hit and miss. What this is going to cause, the ink that's already on there, is going to start it to blend. So I don't know if you can really see it as it's starting to move around. Can you see right here where it's starting to give it a whole new look? If you're doing collage things, awesome, awesome. Let me just do a couple more so you can kind of see them in action there. Can you kind of see these little, they're almost like water lines around there. So you can do it that way, but look at this. You can also do this and just splurts it on there, wherever you want. And remember, it blends, so we can move it around. And we can do all kinds of really cool stuff with that. So that's one medium that you can use, is your glossy paper. Will it work on regular paper? Well, sort of, kind of. It gives you a matte look, and it goes right through the other side really fast. So I always use glossy paper. And if I want to come back in and do this again and add even more texture, which you know I love texture. Look at this. I mean, this is just like too stinking cool. Totally changing what I started out with. There we go. All right, look at that one. Isn't that neat? Well, let me clean this up and we'll go to our next one. Here's one I was messing around with. And at first I thought, I'm going to throw this away. Again, it's my glossy paper. I did some colors on there, and then I was playing around with a piece of felt. Bring that in. And I put some ink on the felt and made these. Well, it didn't work that time. And I thought, well, I can't throw that away. So I took one of my die cuts, cut out a circle, and I want you to look at this really cool little flower. And I just stuck one of those little pearls in the center of it, and voila, I have a really unique flower. So don't throw away what you think's a mistake. Look at, you can really make neat stuff out of it. I'll probably end up making another one. I bet you want to see how to make that flower, don't you? Oh, well, let me just show you really, really fast. We'll just cut this one out a circle. Of course, you can use a die cut, but you know me. We'll just use whatever. And then you simply go around a circle. that there. And then you just start, let me put that out of the way, curling it up. So you start there on the end, and we just curl all the way around. Now when you get to the end, I just let it unravel a little bit. Look at that. Is that like too stinking cool? Just have a piece of paper. Alright, there's that. Let me show you what else you can do. You can also reuse your little pieces of felt. You see I already have colors on there. I'm just going to freshen it up a little bit with a little bit of this. And this is an old, I don't know what this came out of, some little light bulb. But if you do a lot of mixed media stuff and you want to do like Tim Holtz does and puts little funky stuff in his little boxes, look at this. I can color this up and get some blue on there. I don't know if the camera will really be able to see all the cool colors I'm putting on there or not, but we'll try. So there you are. Let me see if I can put a piece of white. Can you see how I colored that up? I mean, you could make that the center of your flower. I mean, don't throw stuff away, girls. You can do so much with it. Now, here's a vase I did a long time back, and I just took my applicator and just put all kinds of ink in there, and then when you fill it up with the beads, you know, those glass beads in there, and my flowers, and there's my little vase. Oh my goodness, there's so much you can do. This is my little container. This is metal, and I did this, and this is what I store all my distress crackle paints in. So you can do metal, and then, oh, this is another thing you can do. Same kind of thing. And we can even drop it right on there. Let it sit on my craft mat. Oh, by the way, don't forget, get your craft mats ready because this, look at the perfect surface to do this on. And it just takes a second to dry. Woo-hoo-hoo. And look at that. Oops. Isn't that beauteous? Look at all the stuff you can do. A lot of us have these buttons. I can do my little clear buttons. Ta-da. Buy the pearls, and you can do your own little pearls. Make them whatever color you want. And see, I'm still using that same piece of felt. And just make them whatever color I need them. These are all turning out pink because I don't have any other color going on. Look at that. Turn this over so you can see. Isn't that cool? There's one more thing I want to show you here. Let me wipe this up. Well, here, let me show you how I wipe it. I'm going to use a little bit of my blending solution to get that ink right off of there. Look at that. Clean, clean, clean. Okay. Now, let's do one more thing. Here are some that I did on acetate. Now, I don't go and buy acetate. I buy those transparencies that you use in your overhead projectors, and you get a big box of them. That's what I use. But you remember the pieces of plastic that I used to make the stamps with on the edge stamps? You can use that stuff too. You can color it up. So here's all I did. You see my different little shapes? Now, like before, I was just blopping it all over. Here's what I did. Let me find them here. There we go. Let me get my piece of acetate. And I'm actually going to lay a piece of white paper in there just so you can see better. Now, instead of using my piece of felt, I'm going to use a piece of foam there. And I just made a shape on there, so I'm just going to put a little bit more ink in that one. Just like that, to make my shape. And then I'm just going to dab it. You can put it wherever you want to make your background. So there you go. Isn't that cool? So that way you can make shapes. Now you let that dry just a little bit, then you can come back in with your other shape. I don't know if that'll dry quick enough for me, but we'll try. What color did I use on here? That's the one thing. I put them in little zippy bags and write the letters on there of what they are. The letters, oh for heaven's sakes. The name of what ink it is so I don't get two different color blends. So there's that one. Let's see if that's dry enough. I don't think it really is, but let's try it. Ooh, look how it interacts with itself. Woohoo! Can you see that? You can do a couple more so you can see. See, it's just blending and giving you a really weird looking background. Now the one I did here, real quick, you see I started out and I put the blue color, which I think is called Stream. I let it dry a little bit. Then I came back and I just blopped the green on there and it did wild stuff. Then, here's the really cool part, and I want to show you this. There's the other ones that are called mixatives. They have gold, silver, pearl, copper. I think that's it. Here's an important thing. Listen. You hear that? The other ones don't do that. The mixatives have that little ball in there. You've really got to mix this up good or it's not going to work. And a little goes a long way, so don't put tons. Let me go back to my piece of felt here. Really shake it up good. And just put little bitty dabs. Like so. That's all we're going to need. Then I'm going to go back on here. Oh my gosh, look at that. It just adds so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. There we go. So that gives you that shiny look. So there's that. And look at on this one. Do you see where I added the little silver? I don't know if the camera can pick up the shimmer there or not. But look here. Look at what it did here. All I did was dab it in the center while it was wet. There are so many things, ladies and guys out there that do this that you can do with your alcohol inks. I will warn you, though, it will get on everything if you don't be careful where you're splurting it, and it stays there. The other thing I want to tell you, I tried in the beginning doing my little cell phone cover. It was some little metal cheap phone. It worked great for a long time, but because I didn't put anything over it like a, oh, what's that stuff called? Oh, you know, that clear stuff, polyurethane spray or something. The oils in my hands over time did wear off the alcohol inks. So if you're going to do something that you're going to handle all the time, some people like to put on their scissors or whatever, you're going to have to figure out some way to coat that handle because it will come off over time. Otherwise, this will never come off of here. So I think that's everything I can show you for now. There's so many more things I can do, but that's another video. So make sure you drop over there to cropstop.com and get yourself some alcohol inks. And don't forget to get the blender. You got to have the blender. You need an applicator. You need some foam squares. You need some felt. Oh my gosh. You will just have so much fun. Make sure to stop over there and tell them Peggy sent you. See ya. Bye.